Shalom. We celebrated Sukkot, or we discussed Sukkot this passing Saturday, and I'm now preparing the study on the 8th day. Now I am going to present this on Thursday, which is day 8, and all the topics relating to the number 8 we're going to look at. We spent a lot of time in number 7, and number 7 is about the cycles, the cleansing cycles, and this study we will spend more time on what does the number 8 mean in relation to the letter Chet, which is the 8th letter of the alphabet. Also, the concept of the doorway, the entering into the doorway, which is the symbol of the Chet, of which there are 2 other symbols, the Hay and the Tav. And those 3 gateways are also the 3 doorways into the areas within the tabernacle, of which the last one is the letter Chet, which leads into the presence of Yahweh. So that is where we are currently situated in our prophetic picture within this festival, is that the 8th day is entering into the presence of Yahweh. It's also symbolic of entering into the 8th millennium, which is depicted by Chai Olam, which is the letter Chet, which means eternal life. Now, eternal life is a state outside of time, which can only exist if you have been elevated to a higher being. Now, we looked at that, and I'm going to recap that in this study that has to do with the carbon-based man, which is 3 Vavs, that is transformed by 3 Dalets, which are 3 doorways, which depicts letter Hay, letter Tav, letter Chet in that sequence. That leads to 3 Alephes, which is the presence of the Father with his 3 main attributes. Now, the 3 Dalets, the 3 doorways, which are the letter Hay, letter Tav, letter Chet, it's the sequence of entering into the presence of the Father, and also the sequence of the elevation processes. There's 3 main processes. The first one is that the letter Hay, which is light, which is also connecting to today, because this is the 5th day of Sukkot, and the 5th day connects to the letter Hay, the 5th letter in the alphabet. And letter Hay, as we discussed last week, are linked to the blessing of Yahweh through the 2 tablets, as well as the 2 letters that are within the letter Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, which is the picture of our reward, which is Yahweh. We get him, we get his presence. So that is also the light that shines into the dark world. That's the other meaning of letter Hay. It shines on the outside. It's the gateway from the outside world through that gateway into the outer court, where you will have to face the brazen altar and the laver. And that is where you accept the sacrifice of Mashiach, and you accept his word, the washing of the water of the word. We're also going to look at the concept of the washing of the water of the word, which is linked to cycles, because the word mayim, which is water, ends with a mim sufit, which looks like a enclosed circle, which is the same letter as the letter Samech. And Samech means elevation and support, which depicts the elevation cycles, or the energy that spin the mem, so to speak, in upward direction. So it's like a tornado, and part of the forces that spin you around within that is the medium of water, or the medium of Yahweh's word. So if you engage with that, you will be confronted with the word within the force field of the rotational energy of Yahweh's glory or Yahweh's presence, and that will transform you. And just like a tornado moves you upwards, spin you upwards, that's the only way to be elevated from this physical through the medium of wind, which which is the other meaning of the letter Hey, which is the sound of breath, the Ha sound, which we call Ruach. So that is the spinning forces that will grab you as you enter into the first gate. The next gate is stepping into the Taf, the doorway of the Taf. Why is that the Taf? I thought Taf's death on the cross. Yes, it means that as well, but in this case it means yoke. Now, we discussed this in previous Torah portions. The letter Taf is yoke, and it's actually a yoke that can facilitate 2 oxen, which are 2 olives, of which you are the small one, and Mashiach's the other one. And together you pull together to break the ground or to perform work, to prepare the ground so that the seed of the word, which is the Mem, it's all depicted by the letter Nun, which is the seed, that will then grow and produce a harvest, which we celebrated last week, or last Sabbath. The topic was the harvest. So that's how the harvest come to being. You have to do the work, break the ground, sow the seed, water the ground, and then you can have a harvest. So the work that happens in the inner court. Now, the inner court is the only place where the priesthood could enter, and that is the people who are anointed to be Yisrael, the kingdom of priests. And they're also referred to from our previous studies as the judges, like Solomon, who will teach and guide and rule and lead the people through the 7th millennium, which is a spinning cycle of cleansing and purification. But this one has got the fire added to it, which is the purification of gold and the repurposing of something that is precious to make it priceless. So that is letter Taf, performing work. And then at the end you'll get the letter Chet. So with that, I'm saying is that you cannot enter into the presence of the Father unless you are elevated to a state of selflessness. What do I mean by that? The priesthood, they don't do those things for salvation. They do those things for the salvation of other people. They do the work for the preparing of the ground, for the salvation and the harvest for other people. So it's a selfless act in the same image and pattern as the Mashiach, because we are little Mashiachs. The kingdom of priests are a nation of little Mashiachs, Christians, that do the work of Mashiach. That is selfless works. So that is how you can depict whether one is a true believer and follower of Mashiach, bondservant, if you do it for the benefit of others, or if you do it for yourself, for your enrichment, your blessings, your this and your that, and you just treat Yeshua as a little idol in your window to make these things happen. That's the wrong way. So I'm just going to leave you with those few thoughts. Yet again, an exciting topic, and I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll speak to you soon. Shalom.